Welcome to the channel, guys. Now, I've been promising this video for an extended period of time, and you don't have to worry as the wait is over. I am going to now be covering this subject, which is, where is the Evil Within 2 DLC? Are any current plans for the Evil Within 3, and are there possibilities for any of these things? Many people, myself included, were very much appreciating what Shinji Mikami was doing with the original Evil Within. Now, I'm not going to deny that without the DLCs the game wouldn't have been half as good, and the DLCs really enhanced and elaborated upon the plot and basically filled in all of the gaps and all of the questions that we needed answering. However, the Evil Within 2, although being a very conclusive game and good sequel, and not really requiring any DLCs to fully understand the story, did leave quite a few remaining unanswered questions, such as where the hell is Joseph Oda currently? Even if Kidman implicated that she had saved him, we still don't know the actual answer to that question. And if anyone remembers Sykes, the technician for Mobius who understood a way to possibly get outside the system, but only had a 25% success rate, as well as is Myra still alive? There are plenty of questions that have been left in the open, and also exactly what is Kidman up to. Now, the Evil Within 3 is another topic to talk about in this video, because Tango Gameworks, if they aren't making any DLC for the Evil Within 2 to answer these questions, should be working on the Evil Within 3, but things are not looking so good. But there's a lime of hope as well, and things are a little bit confusing, and I'm going to be doing a full analysis because I absolutely love the game, and I really want to show you guys everything up to now, all the publicly released information, and kind of give a guess as to what's going on at the moment. So let's get into this video as always. Now, I've covered previously that the Evil Within 2 sales were not exactly particularly well. The game didn't do extremely good on the market, and it looks like the horror industry is kind of dying out, at least in the gaming world, as other games, as I did a reference of comparison to the Evil Within, also did sell very poorly. Outlast 2 was one of the best examples, which also was a commercial failure compared to the original game, which sold millions of copies. Now, Resident Evil 7 was the only recent successful AAA horror title that made a huge impact and made a large amount of sales. So we do still have some hope in the horror industry. But the Evil Within 2 surprisingly sold less than Outlast 2. Now, as I said, I've covered this all previously, so there's a thorough video on that if you want to go check that out. Just type in AvidExpert, The Evil Within 2, and I'm sure you'll find it. However, after the release of The Evil Within 2, Tango Gameworks kind of went silent on Twitter. I mean, even in their bio, they still have it that they're releasing The Evil Within 2 as if it's an upcoming game, and not that they are the proud producers of the game itself. Now, even though the bio isn't updated, surprisingly, they are still releasing updates to the game, including the first-person camera mode that everyone should have remembered from quite a long time ago, as well as Akumu mode recently, and a few other additions, and this was just about a month ago itself. So the staff is still in production and development, coding things in, and they're obviously still having a full suit, or at least a skeleton staff, in the building that must also be costing a lot of money to keep running as well. Maintenance and other things aren't cheap, and so one has to wonder exactly what Shinji Mikami and his team is up to. Now, they recently have been retweeting, but it's not very much, and before that, there wasn't anything to go on, and this silence is what is confounding me. It's very confusing and leaves one wondering, to the imagination, exactly where things are going to proceed. As I said, there is plenty of options for DLC, such as Julian Sykes, Kidman, Joseph Oda. We also have Ruvik and his unfinished story, as well as Myra, and many other things left out in the open. There was also the ending of The Evil Within 2, which left it on a cliffhanger, which further enhances the opportunity for DLC or a sequel to be produced, directly tied into this specifically. So why is Tango Gameworks not doing anything? Now, if anybody is unaware, Bethesda is the publisher for The Evil Within, while Tango Gameworks produces and develops the game. So I do personally believe that Bethesda has to greenlight anything before Shinji Mikami is allowed to push forward with it, and due to the fact that Bethesda is trying to do other projects at the moment such as Fallout 76, I do believe they're putting The Evil Within on the back burner at the moment due to the fact that it wasn't exactly the biggest commercial success. And that's just my personal opinion on the matter, considering all the media silence due to the fact they want to advertise other games. And of course you could say that Bethesda being a publisher is irrelevant to that, but I would say it's very relevant, and they want to handle their assets and their income as they were heavily invested into the funding for the Evil Within's franchise. You can also see that Bethesda and Tango have a close relationship, with Bethesda allowing Tango Gameworks an update that does require you to sign up and register a Bethesda account to gain access to the features of. And of course this shows that Bethesda and Tango are still in a dialogue with each other. Shinji Mikami specifically is talking to individuals, I believe, and there must be a lot going on behind the scenes. But particularly, what is it? Now this is of course tinfoil hat territory. All of this is clearly speculation, as nobody would ever reveal this information publicly, but I do believe that if Shinji Mikami can't fill a quota of sales for The Evil Within 2, then they're not going to get green lights for any DLC or Evil Within 3 content unless they can make up for it. And this is probably why some updates were released to try to keep The Evil Within 2 in the public sphere. Think about the first person camera view. This came after Resident Evil 7 sold so extremely well, and it looked like The Evil Within 2 was trying to copy it afterwards with an update, which I do believe was a very similar effect to how everybody's copying PUBG. It was basically copy the flavor of the month, but it didn't exactly help the sales of The Evil Within 2, which were abysmally poor. It's quite obvious to any fan that Shinji Mikami and his team are working vigilantly to try to keep The Evil Within in the public's eyes. Even if their Twitter accounts are inactive and such, they are working even to this date to give updates to the game. But will they be able to impress enough people or get any exclusive deals with Bethesda in the future, or possibly find an alternative publisher or revitalize the franchise as a whole? I honestly don't have the biggest amount of hope at this time. The only hope that is keeping me going is the fact there are updates still to this day and this month going on, and that does show that something is happening behind the lines. But of course, again, if you scroll through the Twitter and you see how inactive it is, it just kind of leaves you a little bit worried, especially considering that their bio doesn't even affirm that they have developed and created The Evil Within 2 yet, and again still refers to it as an upcoming project. Shinji Mikami's English account is also completely inactive and hasn't been active since The Evil Within 1, which also isn't the best sign. Exactly what is going on with his mind is even more confusing than Bethesda themselves. If you do want a little bit of hope, there is an alternative account for The Evil Within, and this does affirm The Evil Within 2 was released, and also does kind of have the following trend of being a little bit inactive, but doing retweets from time to time. I have gone out and tried to question these accounts before as to what the particular nature and plans for the company are in the future, but I've never gotten a response, which does to me say again and confirm that they're basically being told to keep their mouths shut. They're not allowed to talk about it, they're not allowed to say anything, and I honestly probably think Bethesda is the reason this is the case. If that is so, it is very unfortunate, because due to Bethesda being an extremely large developer and publisher, The Evil Within will always be on the back burner at this point, especially after all of the controversies with Fallout 76 that Bethesda's trying to handle and manage on a PR level. And of course, I don't think that the Evil Within, or should I say Tango Gameworks, will be able to find an alternative publisher for funding and other things. These last few updates we had for the Evil Within 2 literally might be the last content we see before Tango Gameworks completely shuts down, and if that is the case, it would be an extremely tragic loss for the survival horror game industry and genre as a whole, as Shinji Mikami was one of the biggest contributors and innovators of this particular niche. It might just be another company that slowly slides out of the public sphere and completely dissolves into liquidation. I really do hope that isn't the case, but considering all the evidence I have provided here, things are not particularly looking good. Let me know about your opinion, of course, below, and if you did enjoy this or found this educational, please do leave a like, a share, or a subscribe, and I will obviously keep you guys up to date if any responses are garnered from any of the Twitters or anything else, or if any public statements are made. But again, I wouldn't keep your hopes up. I just hope you're having a beautiful day. As always, take it easy, and peace.